you first hear of who your father was?
I think the memory is too faint. I think I would have always grown up with the idea that there was a father. My mother was very open about it too.
Your mother's a very brave woman in her time to go ahead as an unmarried woman to have a baby from a Pakistani man. Did you ever recognize that ever? Was it, or it was just like, did you ever feel that ever?
I did.
How did that shape?
I think there were rewards. I think when you live as you want to, there are rewards. So I don't feel like it was in some way, she wasn't carrying a cross or anything. I think that she lived as she wanted to. But it is an act of courage.
How would you define your relationship with your father then eventually? You did eventually have a relationship with him of some kind, right?
Yes. Like you were talking earlier about DNA. I feel I've got maybe more of his DNA than I have my mother's. And so there was a lot of closeness for a while. And then there was a lot of disappointment and a lot of estrangement. And I would like to stay away from the kind of sort of comforting lies that people tell themselves this time and say that, he didn't hold any hostility in his heart or something like that. But there's nothing for me to defend that with. I think that it ended in an unresolved and incomplete way, and I have to live with that as a whole in my life, which is something I can't get away from.
There's a line I read of yours that you have said that has just stayed with me, that your father was always present because of his absence. How have you coped with the fact that you've left an unresolved relationship?
I've tried to tell the truth. I've tried as much as possible not to fall into the kind of lies that seem to make things better, but then actually mislead you. I have a creative life, an imaginative life, and I'm lucky that some of the sort of emotion of that can feed in to there can be a creative release. The fact that I wrote Stranger to History was in some ways a comfort to me, because I realized that I had dealt with some of these things, and had my father died and I not have dealt with them, it would have been more difficult.
So this answers my question that I was going to ask, that your father was angry, was furious. In fact, he wanted to sue your publisher at one point because you wrote a very brutally honest book, not just about yourself, but about him and his family.
He hadn't read the book when he tried to sue my publisher.
So on the basis of what? This is like giving a fatwa without reading a book, right?
Well, people do all the time. But he objected. He objected to the very idea of the book. He objected to it on its personal side, on what it would say about Pakistan, on what it said about Islam.
So would you, at any point, did you regret writing it?
No, you have to, if you don't become the person you're meant to be, or if you don't do that, there is such a heavy price to pay. I think the only question you have to ask yourself in these situations is, did you write it with any malice? Did you want to harm anyone? I don't believe I did. And
would you say that your identity is as equally Pakistani as it is Indian?
It's India in the undivided sense, which is it can so easily incorporate Pakistan. An idea like Pakistan withers.
That I wish what you were saying was possible, but I just don't believe it ever will be.
For Indians, it's an effortless idea. If you ask them whether the country from where the Ganga comes is their country, if they're in deepest South India, they know very well what India is. And that identity, the Pakistanis know. You don't have to be half Pakistani to go to Pakistan and feel it's your country. You could go, and you would also feel that these people are much closer to you than, say, the Iranians are just across the border.
Of course, because culturally we are one and the same people.
It's
but
that old
moving on
civilization
from there,
you
did have a brief affair with a royal, not a brief affair.
It was a 3-year relationship.
Oh my God, it was a 3. Okay, I take it back. Are you in love at the moment? Do you have a partner?
It's a desert.
It's a desert. So how was it dating a royal? What was the best bit about dating a royal?
I went swimming in Buckingham Palace, which was quite fun. But short of that, it was very normal.
Did you meet the Queen?
No, I think I met Prince Charles. I did meet Prince Charles.
Are you invited to the Kate William wedding?
No, it's not. We don't keep up that kind of closeness anymore.
Damn, I was thinking of being your date. And on that note, thank you very much, Atish. Log on to headlinestoday.in or follow my tweets at Koel's Couch. On the Couch with Koel.